Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Nasty will now announce me.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Uncle Nasty with Gabe's Gabe was proudly to present Mr. Ari Lehman!
That's me, and I want to thank Uncle Nasty for this great announcement.
That's right. That's what I do.
That's really cool. So should we sit down or stand up?
Yeah, bro, sit down.
Arm wrestle? What are we doing? I'm Ari Lehman, rhymes with demon. Just wanted you to know that. I played the first Jason Voorhees. I'm the very first actor ever to have played Jason Voorhees. And did you think it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. That was an appropriate time for that.
Override your part. And what happened today, which was very remarkable, did anybody else notice what happened today in the world of Friday the 13th that was very remarkable? Okay, because the actor who is going to be playing the boy Jason in this TV series was announced today. Can you believe that? So I personally never thought they would ever effing get to this thing, because they kept saying there's going to be a new installation of Friday. There'll be a new movie. There's going to be a TV series. There's going to be a new video game. There's going to be, I don't know, ballet. We're going to have a tarot card set. There's going to be McDonald's fun kids meal. Jason, with machete fries. What's your name? What is it? Thank you. Welcome. Now we all know each other's name.
You're late, but we're going to forget.
No, it's okay. That's not what I said. He said, what's your name? Hi. What's your name? Cheyenne, come on in. That's a great name. Okay. So, can you believe that? I honestly, it's very surreal for me. And I am a surrealist, so that's a good thing. But to think that somebody is actually going to be playing the boy Jason in this TV series, and he seems like he's just a little boy. He's just a little boy. What are they going to do to him? They're going to mess his face up. And do you know, it was a glass eye and false teeth. I could only see out of one eye, okay? And it was funny because they handed me the script initially. They said, here's your script. And the real funny part is the first script they handed me was the wrong script. So it says, the counselors go into the cabin and begin to make love on it was Kevin Bacon's script. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God. And Sean Cunningham came in and he said, no. You're going to be the monster. So I was greatly relieved. But in that moment, okay, Jason Voorhees was born, in essence. I was handed over to Tom Savini and his team. They actually had created a studio in Connecticut, not far from Sean Cunningham's home. Hi, tell us your names, everyone who comes in. Hi, good to see you again. Your names, what are you? Hey, hey, I'm Ari. So, yeah, and there it was, working together with Tom Savini, the mask was created, as we were saying, and okay, so when they handed me that script, of course the script that was for me, Jason. So what does a little actor do is you start going through to see what your lines are. And so I'm turning the pages and I'm speaking because you have no lines. So I'm looking, what kind of a part is this? So, but yes, and that's when it was revealed to me that it was going to be really a stunt role, and the main thing was to be, the other Jasons are slashers, where I'm a splasher. Because little Jason that's what ended up happening. So, what a wonderful experience, though. I wonder, are they going to have this young actor speak? Is he going to speak? What is going to happen? I am as mystified as the rest. Oh, by the way, when you come in, you have to tell us your names. Hi. So there you have it. You know, that's how I'm feeling today. You know, 45 years later, and wonderful as it is, I just wonder maybe I should reach out to this kid and say, hey, you know. I mean, how did I? Scream is here. Hi, Scream. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. It's been a while since I saw you. Ghostface. Thank you. It's good. Remind you, of course. Good old GF. But
This is your job.
what I was going to say is, you know, maybe I should talk to him and tell him. You know, I guess the way that I've been able to cope with it is by having a metal band called First Jason. I don't know if you know about this. We have had a lot of wonderful opportunities in the past couple of years. We got to open for Ice Nine Kills twice, and Spencer's here. And we just got signed to some crazy label that's willing to sign us. We just got back from Florida too. We did it wrong. So a new album's coming out. I'll play some music for you from the new album later on. One of the most exciting things about the new album, okay, soundtrack composer Harry Manfredini gave us 7 new instrumental interludes. In other words, he gave us 7 one-minute interludes for each song, like one, and they're all based on my song. I couldn't believe it. So that was pretty great. You 4, tell us your names, please.
I'm Jacob.
Hi.
Henry.
Hi, come on in. So yeah, that's where it's at, you know, and that I think that, I don't know, they'll have to find some sort of similar outlet. Did you want to ask any questions? Did you have any questions in mind?
That microphone out there that y'all see standing proud, right? That's a brand new microphone stand. It was bought from a mom and pop shop here, local, so we didn't even go to Guitar Center. All right, we supported local business. Is that true, Brandon?
That's very true.
It was actually hard to find this place, okay? But we did it anyway, and it's out there, and it's the expensive one. It's not a cheap one, okay? We could have got a $39.99. It's for you.
So you're saying don't drop the mic after you say, I like Freddie better.
All right, don't say that. That's not the place for that. That's bad.
Don't put that out in the universe. Oh my God.
But please feel free to go to the red carpet and ask some questions.
But I will continue.
Continue talking, but line up if you want to ask questions.
Generally ramble. I mean, I think, what are we looking at in Friday the 13th? Friday the 13th is a great movie for fun, but it embraces, okay, one of the age-old horror themes, which is murder or madness. Is the protagonist justified and really hearing the voice of her son, her long-lost son? Or is she just fucking crazy? And, you know, this is a theme which starts, I mean, gosh, it's just a big, I mean, you look at Hamlet's father comes up from beyond the grave and says, look, your mom is now sleeping with my brother who killed me, by the way, and now you, in order to free me from purgatory, go in the castle right now, he says this is the first scene, and kill that guy. But Hamlet takes the whole freaking play to do it, but, you know, but still, but that's the whole thing, because why? Is this really my father's ghost, or am I crazy? Is it really little Jason talking to Mama Voorhees, or is she crazy? There's another great movie from 1978, okay? It stars Anthony Hopkins, and Burgess Meredith, and Anne Margaret, and it's about a magician who has a little puppet. Does anybody know the movie I'm talking about? It's called Magic. And in this movie, you're going to see Anthony Hopkins' best performance, in which he embraces this concept, murder or madness. Is this little puppet telling him to kill all these people, or is he just fucking crazy? And in this movie, you're going to see a foreshadowing of Child's Play with the puppet, Also, you're going to see what inspired, I think, scenes from Friday the 13th. There's a great scene in which, the character sleeps with his friend's wife. And so the next day, his friend comes home and they're in a canoe on a lake together. And the one guy is looking this way and he's there and he goes, did you bang my wife? And he's got an oar and he's ready, something's gonna happen. Hey, please tell us your names when you come in. We all know each other's names. Good to see you. So anyway, I feel that scene is very brought about Friday the 13th, the whole lake stuff. So that's a good movie to check out, Magic, if you want to, on my recommendation. What is it like to be the actor that played little Jason? Well, I'll tell you this. I had so much fun on the set of Friday the 13th as a little boy. It was amazingly fun. It was a summer camp set. And to see the camaraderie, to see the teamwork, to see these artists all working together just like crazy characters in the middle of the woods, my God. Tasso Stavrakis and Tom Savini were like the Cheech and Chong of art. And just hanging out with them together, was a blast. I did bring marijuana to the set of Friday the 13th at age 14. And I think that Jason, in many ways, owes his existence to that fact. Because, I'll tell you how I spin it. Because, Tom and them really appreciated that I brought good weed to the set of Friday the 13th with all the cocaine that they were doing. They definitely needed, something to balance everything out. I was like this little Richie, Connecticut kid who had weed and hash. So I showed up and I was getting everybody high, I was like, hey, it's... So,
YouTube is going to love this.
But then, what happened was, and there was nothing weird, it was just, a movie set, and a lot of hard work, and a lot of fun. But what happened was, you see, Paramount Pictures passed on the initial version of Friday the 13th. It did not contain the final sequence. The initial version that we wrapped in August of 1979 only had the scene where Mama Voorhees is saying he was my only son and today is his birthday. He wasn't a very good swimmer. And I'm drowning and, killer mommy, killer. And that was it. Okay? There was no final sequence where Alice gets dumped in the water. And Paramount Pictures passed on Friday the 13th. And this was John Cunningham's second shot. Because his first shot was a comedy about kids that play soccer. That's what I auditioned for. Then, and then Friday the 13th. But they said, Mom gets her head chopped off, little boy drowns. This is not testing well in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is a tragedy. So it was up in the air for 2 months. There wasn't going to be any Friday the 13th. It was like the only iteration of Jason Voorhees was a drowning child. That's when they came up with this new sequence. And they said, we've got to do something. We're going to go back. We're going to do something, they decided. So I think Tom Savini said, look, if I'm going back to the middle of the woods in New Jersey in 1979, when it's impossible to get weed, R has got to be there. Okay, I'm not going back there without R. Okay, so let's write a scene where Jason comes back. And I honestly think that is the reason why they wrote a scene for Jason to come back and jump out of the lake, because Sean Cunningham wasn't having it. He said, how is Jason going to come back? Because he's been underwater for 11 years. And Savini said, he was thinking about the hash and the weed. He said, I don't fucking care. He's coming back. Hey, what are your names over there, everybody? We all know each other's names. John, hi, come and sit down. Hey, your friend is running away. That's it. We all ask each other's names.
With arms wide open,
Man,
so blind.
it's okay.
Don't
So
saunter.
we all know each other's names.
Don't
We
s-
all. I wasn't just signaling you out here.
Don't saunter away.
But we still don't know your name. But you can tell us eventually. Okay, welcome. So yeah, that's my theory. That is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Does anybody have any other questions? I could talk to you about Betsy Palmer. Do you guys know who Betsy Palmer is? Betsy Palmer played Pamela Voorhees, my mother, in Friday the 13th. She also shared the same birth date as my mother, November 1st. And we were really good friends after we met at a convention just like this. It was at the Meadowlands, and there was a gazillion people there, and they say, go in this room, and I look across there, and it's Betsy Palmer. And she's never met me, because of course we didn't do any scenes together. She wasn't in the lake. So I just walk across, and I just go, Mama! And this is Betsy. She just puts her arms around me, hugs me, and then she puts her hands on my shoulders. Now, who the fuck are you? And then she gives me the biggest hug again, and we became really good friends. And I would bring her treats and flowers and hang out with her at the horror convention, and we were both vegetarians, and everyone would go and eat steak, and we would go eat Italian food, and she taught me not to drink bad whiskey. And she told me so many great stories. She was James Dean's lover she lived together with James Dean for 2 months. I don't know if you knew that. They also did live television together. There was a scene where it was called Witness to a Kill. They used to do live television like they do Saturday Night Live now. And it was in New York. It was probably the same gang studio. And they would do plays. So in this play, Betsy Palmer is sitting in a coffee shop, and her character witnesses James Dean is not the murderer, okay? And so the police come and they question her and whatever, it's witness to a kill. So in the scene, James Dean on live television forgets his lines, and he freezes. And you can tell, it's just like on Saturday Night Live when someone starts laughing or something, and Betsy looks at him and says, you were going to say, and then feeds him his line. And he just melts, like, and there you can see the relationship between Betsy Palmer. Betsy Palmer, who starred on Broadway in many big musicals and plays, and she was very punctual. They say the only person in the world that she would allow to be late was me. And I would go and we would have parties in her room. Often she would say to me, Ari, pass the joint, it's not a microphone. She could make people laugh so hard that they would fall out of their seats. She was on all these talk shows back in the day, and she would, I would come up and be all like, hi, I'm Ari Lehman, and then she would just start making penis jokes. That's Betsy Palmer. I mean, she was the greatest. I miss her so much. But the fact that I got to meet her and be her friend, and she really would, she gave me a lot of great advice. For instance, she said, fuck Hollywood. She said, I like to do dinner theater. She did dinner theater up into her 80s. She could memorize plays. She would have everything memorized. And she said, I like to do dinner theater because people bring me flowers, and I'm not sitting around waiting for the phone to ring to play someone's mother. I said, would you play my mom? But anyway, she was just the most wonderful person you ever met. Let's hear it, Betsy Palmer. So any other people you guys want to know about?
What's your favorite Friday the 13th movie that you're not in?
That's a good question. I would ultimately say it's part 7, because that's the entrance of Kane Hodder, and it's John B. I know not everyone shares that What are your all favorite? Who else is part 7 favorite? Nobody? Okay. Okay, part 2. Okay, thank you. Part 3. Part 4. Part 4. Part 5 with imposter Jason. Roy? With Roy? No, I'm kidding. It's a good movie. Actually, that movie is great. The director, what is the director? Can anybody remember? He was the most hilarious, very funny guy. Very, very funny. What was his name? Okay, what about 6? There you go. Oh, that's your set, part 6 with CJ. Well, that's Tommy McLaughlin, the director. You know, part 6 was supposed to be about hunters who invade Crystal Lake. That was Tommy's original idea. The original idea for part 6 was Jason gets pissed off because he's killing innocent animals, okay? Which we can all vibe with, right? Very of that time period. But then the end was supposed to be Jason's had enough and he comes out like Rambo, totally loaded with arms. Like he was gonna have, guns. He was gonna be strapped like Rambo. So they didn't do that. They said no. And they also changed it to the paintballers, or I don't know. Part 7. Who liked part 7? Part 7, I'll tell you why I love it so much, is because it's John Buechler, the director, and John Buechler really did make an attempt to kind of bring together all the different Friday the 13th. It's the only time they actually tried to do that. They kind of tried to make sense of it all. What is the next one? It's Jason Goes to Hell? Or is it Jason Takes New York? Manhattan, yeah, there you go. That's a great one. But what about Jason X?
Yeah.
Thank you. With the liquid nitrogen kill. I mean, that's great. It's the only time Jason gets any sort of female contact whatsoever. Poor Jason. He's on the holodeck there, right? There, and then that crazy robot thing. Poor Jason. And then, then it's Freddy. It's Freddy versus Jason. Everyone loves that. Okay. And what about the reboot remake thingy? Anybody out there? Yeah, okay. I think Derek Mears did a good job. I'll say that. I think Derek's portrayal of Jason is brutal and effective. And I don't know if we're ever going to get to see it again. Maybe we will. Who knows? There's certainly something on the horizon. I just did some kind of an advertisement. So there's going to be a short film. There's a short film. I guess I can't really tell them all the details. Anyway, it will be connected to a famous cider. That's all I can say.
Dickens cider?
Something like that.
It was so easy, I'm almost ashamed. You should work harder than that.
That was good. I set him up, you knock him down. All right, now it's questions time. You must have one. Does anyone have a question?
His answers are pretty fun.
Has it been more fun getting into music now, or did you prefer acting? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, you've got your Ice Nine Kills shirt on. Awesome. Well, wow, and Spencer helped you so much. No, honestly, what's your name again?
Mallory.
Mallory. Well, Mallory, I always preferred music, to tell you the truth. As a young man, getting to act, I was like, what am I going to do? I already was playing jazz piano as a little kid, and I was given a scholarship to go to Berklee School of Music. But I went to NYU. I went to New York to be here because way back then, all these jazz musicians were still alive. And for the price of a beer, I could go downstairs and watch some of the greatest jazz musicians in the world. So I became a jazz piano player. And then I started working in world music. So I even got to go to Africa. I played in an African band for when, that was a thing in the 90s. And so yeah, it's always been music for me. I did, like the theater thing was cool, and that I kind of dug. But the thing about being on a movie set is that, you're made up, and then, like even in the greatest situation, you say a line, and then cut, and then, okay, we're gonna move the cameras around. Okay, say that line again. Cut, and that's all day. So that takes a certain type of patience and a certain type of focus. And I'm kind of fiery. So for me, I like to stand at the edge of a stage in front of a crowd that's going crazy and a band that's playing my original music who really are kick-ass, which I now have. So that's just such a thrill, there's no turning back.
Yeah, and what was the name of your band again?
First Jason. And First Jason, okay, well check it out. You know the song Thank God It's Friday by Ice Nine Kills? Well, there's an acoustic version of that song, and that's me singing with Spencer. So Spencer sang on one of our songs. Spencer sings on the video version of The Scapegoat, which is on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and look up First Jason the Scapegoat. Spencer's even in that one. So, long story short, we got to open for Ice Nine Kills at the last Silver Screen Con, and it was First Jason, TX2, Avatar, In This Moment, Ice Nine Kills. And there were 7,000 people there, and I almost had a heart attack. Like, it was like the greatest thing that ever happened. So, yeah, I'm primarily a musician, and, the new album, I mean,
We got video speaking right over here.
yeah.
Here.
But let me just say this really quickly. Harry Houdini himself contributed 7 instrumental overtures for a new album. And this is not released yet, which you're hearing right now. So each song has an all original written overture like this. On the other. I'm going to let the first song start so you can. The album is called Into the Fray. Yeah, this is First Jason. I'm singing.
There you go.
Yeah, you all just heard a clip from the new album Into the Fray, which isn't released yet. Thank you, great question.
Very cool.
Hey there.
Hi, my name's Ash.
Hey Ash.
Hi. Earlier you mentioned that your favorite Friday the 13th film is Part 7. My favorite is Freddy vs. Jason. My question is, if you could have Jason go up against any horror icon, who would it be and why?
Well, that's a great question. I think that having Jason go against Freddy is a bit odd, even though I am happy to say that is the first Friday the 13th and Freddy vs. Jason are the biggest box offices of all the Friday the 13th. But Freddy speaks, so I feel that Hellpriest, like Pinhead, Hellpriest, would be a better adversary because they're both kind of sardonic and they both speak. And even though Michael doesn't speak, there's something about Michael that's like he has no cap. He's just fully evil. I think the obvious, perfect foil for Jason is Leatherface, the original baby who we, poor Leatherface, but Leatherface. It's the same thing with Jason. It's like we feel sorry for Jason. There's that element of sympathy, okay, and that's what creates an entirely different, emotional atmosphere for Friday the 13th. And now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a much more frenetic, chaotic, and disturbing. I mean, look at that. Like, how about the one with Jessica Biel and my friend Andrew Bernarski from the 90s? That one is one of the most disturbing offerings. People know what I'm talking about? But in Friday the 13th, if you will, I think Friday the 13th is a little bit dialed back. Like they wanted to create a situation which is oddly comforting, being in the woods, and the odd comfort of being together with a group of, friends, and then all of a sudden that's shattered. So that's a different type of fear of, being all alone in the middle of Texas with a bunch of cannibals. So, but what was your question?
You answered, Mason.
Yeah, you answered it.
Well, what was it again?
It was, if you could have Jason go up against any other four.
Oh, cool. No, yeah. I do think Leatherface would be the best. But we can riff on this. What if Jason, went up against Godzilla?
Yeah, Jason X could.
Yeah, he could. Look, Godzilla would eat him, and he would just hack his way out of his stomach. No. I don't know. Jason with his jaws. No, good question. Thank you. Maybe they'll do that. Jason versus Leatherface. They'll do that. Any other questions out there? Oh, right there. Thank you.
Please. This video will be posted somewhere eventually. You'll be able to watch yourself.
Oh. I never would have said any of those things.
So I know you had the prosthetics on for the first movie. I want to know what the experience was being underwater with all that stuff on your face.
Oh yeah, it was easy because first of all we had to get the shots done. It wasn't really waterproof. It was alginate that was just, if I had stayed in the water too long, it would start to peel. And it was super low budget, and it was just a pond, and it was like we just put the makeup on. It took about 4 hours to apply, so it was very carefully done. So it's kind of like 4 months of preparation for 4 minutes, and everything's got to go right in that moment. It's like a magic trick where the magician will prepare the north and the south and the east and the west and put all the right things and wait for the light and then just right and then boom. So who knows how whatever magic occurred to frighten so many people in that final sequence especially. And the thing with that is, Adrienne King, the great actress, is waiting in the boat for the director to say action. But he says to me, Ari, just go out in the water and I want you to look at the bubbles. When the bubbles clear, that's action. So he didn't say action. Hi, we're all saying our names. What are your names? Awesome, welcome. So I went out in the water. I waited for the bubbles to clear. I'm thinking very quickly. I have how much time to prepare. All he said to me was, "Go out there. You're the director in this scene, Ari. When the bubbles clear, that's action. Just come on out of the water and grab Adrian. That's all he said. So I'm like, okay. So I go out there and I'm thinking, how am I gonna do this? And I'm gonna be kind of playful. Is it like we're in a pool having fun? And then I thought, bitch killed my mama. You know, you gotta get your motivation. I'm like, fuck that. So I grab the side of the boat and I look down and she has no fucking idea what to do. She looks up at me and she goes, ah! And she literally goes, oh shit! And she fell out of the boat on the first take, the poor dear, okay? She's an able boatswoman, but none of that was helping her when she saw this slimy me coming out, thinking, bitch, kill my mama! You know, she was so frightened, the poor thing. And she fell right in the water and she turns around and says, he didn't say action. And now I'm like, gosh, I've just ruined everything. You know, when you're a little kid, you think, I've ruined the whole thing. The adults are now going to be mad at me. And Sean, they took Adrian, they blew dry her hair really fast, and got her ready for the second take, and then and Sean goes, Ari, please don't manhandle the actress on this take. And I'm like, I manhandled someone? Really? Wow. So it was a lot of fun. And for me, I don't think Adrian found it to be that much fun. But you know, I took the blame for Sean. So Sean approves and still, but Adrian has never forgiven. Thanks everybody. Any more questions? Super cool. Is that how much time? Bit more time. Oh, 20 more minutes. Let's keep going then. Fine. If you have no more questions, what should we talk about? Let's talk about this TV series. There's a new TV series, Friday the 13th TV series, coming out. And I don't know, what is the consensus in the room about what's happening? They've already cast Mama Voorhees is going to be played by Linda Cardinelli, who played Velma in Scooby-Doo. Okay, is that good? Is that good? That seems good, right? And they just cast a young person, I don't know, he seems to be about 10 or 12, to play little Jason Voorhees. So, is he going to speak? I have no idea. This is an amazing thing. It's hard to tell. I mean, how can we have come all this time? It's 45 years later. It seems like to me a TV series is a challenge because, okay, you have the first episode, and a bunch of people are found dead, and so they have to figure it out. Who killed these people? And they figure out it was Jason Voorhees. Okay, that's the end of the first episode. So then the second episode, oh my God, there's all these dead people here. Who killed these people? And, it was Jason again? Oh my God, well, now the third episode, dead people! It just seems like, I don't know, how can they make a TV series out of that? Well, we're about to find out. And, what about you? Do you have any questions?
I can ask questions all day. It's almost part of what I do.
Give us one. Give us one.
All right. If you could write your own script for Jason, right? What direction would you take him from where he's at right now?
Okay, well, Jason needs to come into the modern era. Okay, Jason can't speak, but maybe he could text people like if you gave him a phone. You give Jason a phone, he's up in the woods there, he's just trying to text people if he could get good reception. What's your favorite Jason movie? He's like, I'm behind you, huh? You know, just texting people randomly. But then, okay, if I was gonna write one, I would write it about Jason versus AI. Okay, it's like the army creates some kind of a angel of death doomsday device, right? It's like a robot satellite something, and it can kill anything that comes up that has either like weapons on it, like let's say you have ammunition, right? You have ammunition, or let's say you might be in a motorized vehicle, because you can just blow that up, and you can just blows up the tank with its own engine. Okay, ooh, the plane in the air just blows that up, because it has an engine. So then also if you have a bomb on you, just blows that up, just blows up your own bomb. But Jason does not drive in a car, okay? Jason does not use ammunition. So Jason is the only agent, super agent Jason Voorhees. He's the only one who can kill the angel of death. So it's Jason versus the angel of death, okay?
It's Jason Voorhees.
The different countries all make their own angels of death, and then they start fighting each other, and the shit gets so out of hand, they have to create an army of Jason Voorhees. That's right, they clone Jason Voorhees and make this huge army of Jason clones, and that's the only way they can defeat the angel of death. That's mine.
That was extremely beautiful.
It's got to be about the future. It's got to be about, I guess they did kind of do that with Jason X. They did that.
So futuristic.
Sure.
I dig it.
True. Yeah. But I love sci-fi. I'm a big Blade fan. I love Blade. I love all that kind of, horror sci-fi stuff. As you see, Spencer and them, they just did a whole Matrix thing, which is pretty cool. So, I don't know. Do we need to bring Jason into the... I've got another one for you. Here's another one. Okay, here's another one. Have you seen Westworld? You guys seen Westworld? And the TV series was amazing. The original film with Yul Brynner. So, let's say Crystal Lake has been forgotten. Camp Crystal Lake has been forgotten. And the woods are all overgrown. They don't even remember. But of course, Jason's still there. Still alone. No one ever comes there. He's like, oh man. But so they build like a Westworld resort around the woods of Camp Crystal Lake, right? So, Jason just gets bored. He wanders off. He wanders into, Japan world. And now he's got to be a samurai. He's got a katana. He's like meditating in the woods. He's like, coming out. Okay, so then he wanders into the west world. He's riding a horse. Jason's got him. He's like, shoot him up, comes in there, bang, bang, kills all the bandits. Okay, then he goes into like a robot future world, okay? Future world. But then the final world would be slasher world, where he has to kill Freddy and Leatherface and Michael. Okay? It's another one.
This is good.
These are my script ideas for Friday the 13th. None of which will ever be made because they're too out there. But
I asked this question before one time, and I got like basically a hillbilly version of like Friday the 13th, where Jason was running over people with bush hogs and stuff.
with bush hogs?
Yeah, do you remember that, Brandon?
Yeah.
Who said that? CJ or Kane?
No, but it was what panel was that? It was here.
It might have been CJ.
It was on the panel that CJ was on.
But it wasn't CJ. It wasn't CJ, but
No.
it was on the panel.
What is a bush hog?
A big lawnmower.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that you pull behind the tractor.
Yeah, you probably do that.
Yeah, but
He's getting older.
driving the
It's not, when you get to a certain age, you can't necessarily machete people to death
Right.
as easily. You might have to hang on, you get your glasses, you get up there, Jason has a walker. He's coming at you.
I'm Ryan, and I probably kick myself if I didn't ask, but just for shits and grins, How much of that weed on the Friday the 13th set did you smoke with Kevin Bacon?
Oh, no, I didn't party with Kevin, but Kevin was cool to be on the set. I was kind of a serious little kid for all my weed smoking, and I would, hi there, thank you, come on in. What's your name? Come on in. But so I would look into the water of the lake to kind of think, what would it be like to transform into this, Jason. So I'm there, I'm looking into the water, I'm a little kid, and I think Kevin Bacon had just taken a piss in the woods. Because he comes out, he's zipping up, and he sees me and he goes, hey, Ari, I think he was worried, like, oh, this child is too serious, he wanted to cheer me up, make sure I was okay, So he goes, what you doing, Ari? And I go, I'm getting into character. And he laughed just like that and just fell over on the ground. And he's laughing so hard. And he goes, you're 12 years old. I'm 14, Kevin. So yeah, and then he called over Harry Crosby, Bing Crosby's son, who played Bill. And they got a great laugh. But they thought it was cool. He's like, look, this is the only kid. He's actually, he's trying to act. He's getting into character. Yeah, what he actually said to me is, I'm trying to get into the other character. That's what he said, which went over my head at that time. I feel like years later, I'm like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, and being on the set was a unique experience because it was 1979 and it was a really hot summer. And everyone was so happy to not be in New York City. They all lived in New York City and they were like, we get to go to the country and have fun and live in these cabins, and and I was kind of like their little mascot, like I was, hey, come on, let's go swimming, or Ari, let's shoot arrows, whatever. So it was fun. There was a lot of hard work, of course, we'd have to be up at like 4 and then put on the makeup and then do the shoot. But at the end of the day, everybody would go swimming in the pond. And yeah, back then, most of them did not wear any clothes. They were just all, I was like a thing in the 70s, you just, So that's, you can imagine that at the set of Friday the 13th. But, Kevin almost did that in the movie, if you remember. But what about, okay, on a more serious note, what about that coffee can? You guys know, next time you watch Friday the 13th, okay, when poor Alice is in the kitchen and she's so upset and Bill has just gotten killed, so she decides, I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. I'm gonna make 2 cups. One for me, one for Bill. But we all know Bill is dead. So the pathos, let me tell you. So she gets this instant coffee. Immediately, you're just sad for her. Her boyfriend's dead. She has to drink instant coffee. But then she does the most heinous thing, which you should not be forgiven for. It's that, okay, she's got the coffee can. I want you to watch this the next time you see Friday the 13th. And she goes to put the top on, but the top does not screw on properly. And she still just puts it back on the shelf. She deserves to be killed for that. What if some old person comes along and they want some coffee? Is it their fault? It's gonna spill everywhere. It really gets me, okay? So she just puts it down there. Sure, all your friends are being killed, but you can still take the time to close the coffee lid. And if you see later in the film, when she's running. Now she's running through the kitchen. The killer's trying to get her. And right in the middle of the screen, right there is the coffee can. Lid is on. What the fuck? Who did that? Okay, and how about this? Kevin's character and his girlfriend are doing it in the cabin. Memorable scene. Also, let's note, one of the only times in a horror movie where a woman is enjoying having sex right to the end. You know, it's great for her. She wasn't garroted right in the middle or anything. So which is, I think, an interesting aspect of Friday the 13th. I mean, to the point, men are pretty useless in Friday the 13th. If you notice, go through the film, men cannot do anything. It's only the women. The women accomplish everything. Even you know, anything that occurs, you will notice it's mom or it's Alice. Okay, men try to do things and they fuck up every time. But so anyway, they're done doing it, right? So you think it's just two people to begin with. But then he's lying back, and then the drop of blood. So you realize poor Ned has been in the top bunk dying the whole time. So now it's a threesome, right? But they're doing it. Ned is dying. Okay, she's just like, wee. Just like, ah. Okay. And then, all of a sudden the alarm comes. It's Mama. Mama has been watching the entire time. Mama has been under the bed. So now it's a foursome. What the heck is going on here? You know, which is very like Sean Cunningham, because she was watching. Well, who else was watching? You were watching. But then the girl goes to the bathroom. Okay, she goes to the bathroom. She sings. She does a whole thing. With the Catherine Hepburn. You're still playing. And she turns the water on. Remember? And then she goes over there. And then she looks up and asks, "Whammo!" Okay, did Mom just run all the way across the camp with an axe? Is my question. Did she just, kill this one? Run across the camp, kill this one. And then the girl with the green raincoat comes in. Now, before I let you go, do you remember the light is going like this when she gets killed with the axe? Okay? See, this is their fucking movies. Okay? The light is going like that. So then the girl in the green raincoat comes in. That's fascinating. She's there, okay. She keeps looking over. You recall this? She looks over. There's no blood there. The woman was just axe murdered in the head, right there. Okay, so this means Mama is not just running around the camp with an axe and all that stuff, but also a mop and a bucket. Because she's coming in, she's killing, she's cleaning, she's moving bodies. Who is this woman? She is masterful. And so at the end of that scenario, please tell us your names, and we all know each other's names. Hi, thank you. So yeah, I mean, how does that happen? How does that happen? That Mama is doing that. Yeah, and yeah. So there you go. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I left you hanging there. I'm sorry. When the girl in the green raincoat, she looks over. There's no body. It's a clean floor. And you look up, and they show the light. The light is perfectly still. So she's doing her thing. And nobody, light. Then when she turns to go out, the light is swinging wildly. What the fuck is that? They are just fucking with us. That's what I think. And I'm sticking to it. Friday the 13th. The horror movie that's just meant to be fun, because if you start trying to figure it out, you realize, that coffee can lid, please. Anyway. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Any more questions? Are we good? Are we good? We're good. Oh, we still have 6 minutes. So,
Do you see my shirt?
what? That's badass, man. It's got Jason together. That's like the Merkins.
He's dragging Pennywise and it says,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I'll tell you what's going on with First Jason. We have been going since Ice Nine Kills helped us so much, and Twisted helped us so much, and we got signed to a label from Niagara Falls, Canada called CDM Records, and so that is part of the new album. We've got 7 new songs. That's going to be coming out soon, and playing in First Jason to me is really what is the most, I guess, important thing in my life. I love to come to conventions and tell anecdotes and talk about Friday the 13th, but this kind of surrealistic way that I've taken one topic, and by focusing on that topic, it's made me enhance my creativity. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you have a certain palette to work with, you can discuss anything within the realms of Friday the 13th. I mean, it's got mom, it's got life and death, and you know, it's as important and meaningful as you want to make it. And also, it can just be a lot of fun. So, you know, I have songs like Jason Never Dies, Machete is My Friend, Sink or Swim, Voorhees is the Name, Kill for Mother. And then really when we came out with a couple videos, that's when Ice Nine Kills really saw us and gave us a big help. And, you know, just getting the opportunity to go around the community, it's so gratifying because we have such a family. I mean, we are a family. That's what I'm saying. Tell me your names, everyone. It's like we have the haunters, and we have the tattoo artists, and we have the horror burlesque troops, and we have, you name it, people doing suspensions and all kinds of horror graphic artists and everything out there. And I think that whenever we get to go to a community, it's mutual validation. There's those horror rock bands that are out there, and those are the kids in those towns with all the tattoos and, you know, kind of outsiders from the mainstream. But I think when First Jason shows up, it's kind of a flagship, and everybody gets together, and it's a wonderful thing. So I'm very gratified. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about how important the fans are to the legacy of Friday the 13th. Because more than any other franchise, Friday the 13th owes its continued success to the fans. Because you look, every Friday the 13th was done by a different group, a different production team. So in the long run, they turn to you to say, what do you want in the next Friday the 13th? And as we've seen from the times when they kind of tried to remove him in different ways, what the fans really want is more Jason Voorhees. So let's hope that that's what's coming. And as I said before, it's really a great time to be alive if you're a fan of Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th. So I thank each and every one of you, and just remember that Jason never dies. Woo! Let's everybody